Welcome back, guys, and today we're going to be doing a 2024 presidential elections prediction video. This is my first one of 2024. We did these in 2016, we did them in 2020, and now this is our first one of the 2024 election cycle. And we're going to be doing things a little bit differently than in the past and differently than other channels. So typically on other prediction channels, how they do it is they give you a prediction once a month, usually the first of the month, and they will just fill in states based off of essentially nothing, just their random opinion. So we're not going to be doing any crystal ball type stuff here. I've put together a framework of how we're going to do these predictions. I'm going to go state by state, and we're going to take the average of all the polls in each individual state, combine them, and then we're going to fill them in however that comes out to. So it'll just be, these predictions will just be a snapshot of the race at the current time of the video being filmed, and we won't do it once a month necessarily, just whenever we get a major change in the polling. So that's how we're going to do it, and I'll be doing one for Ron DeSantis, but for this one we're going to be doing Biden versus Trump, which is what I think is the most likely scenario as it stands today. I know things could change. We could have Biden versus DeSantis. We could have Gavin Newsom versus DeSantis, Newsom versus Trump. So anything's possible, but as of today, this is the most likely scenario. So let's start with filling in the safe states and how I'm going to categorize these projections. The safe states will be states that are won by more than 10%. The likely states will be won by more than 5%. The lean states more than 1%. And then anything under 1% will be a tilt. All right, so let's start with the safe Biden states. Obviously, the West Coast, Hawaii, and then obviously, well, not New Hampshire, my bad. Well, it's going to have to stay like that for a second. So Vermont, all of these East Coast states, and D.C., New York, obviously, Illinois. Feel like I'm missing something. All right, so now let's do the safe red states: Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska at large, and the 1st Congressional District, Idaho, Utah, the Bible Belt except Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Indiana, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas. All right, so I guess we could give Maine. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted it at large. I guess Maine's 1st district would also be safe. So I think that's all the safe states. So now this is where my framework comes into play with the averages of the polls and all of these. I guess you could call them battleground states. I guess there's a difference between battleground and swing states. Battleground states are just states where I guess it's possible that a flip could happen, but not necessarily likely. And I guess we can give Trump Alaska as a safe state. So from the safe states, we've got Biden at 187 to Trump 123. Now keep in mind, guys, as I'm going through and making these projections, I don't necessarily even agree with all of these. This is just where the polling is today, and for the final result next November, I don't think that some of these are going to be right, but this is just how we're going to do it. So I guess we'll start with the likely states. So I have Trump winning, or the polls have Trump winning. There was 8 polls so far for the 2024 election in Texas, and that they have Trump winning by 8.5%, which I think is probably that's pretty accurate if you ask me. He won it by 9 in 2016, and then he won it by 5.6 in 2020. But with how unpopular Biden is, I feel like it'll be a bit of a rebound for Trump in Texas. And the state has been, well, I mean, people say it's trending to the left, but certain parts of Texas, some of the more historical blue areas, kind of shifted to the right in 2020. So I could definitely see Texas going to Trump by 8. Then we come over to Florida. There's 16 polls in Florida for a total of Trump winning by 9.1%. And then we come right up here to Georgia. 25 polls suggest Trump's going to win it by 5.6. I don't know how likely that is. Brian Kemp did win the state by 8 points, but Herschel Walker lost. So Georgia's kind of weird. But then again, I saw that the Democrats had given up on Georgia. They're not going to spend a lot of money there. So I think we will win Georgia. I just don't know if it'll be by over 5 points. Trump did win it here in 2016 by about that margin, so it could be likely. Then we come up to North Carolina. There are 17 polls currently out of North Carolina showing Trump winning by 7.5. Definitely don't think it's going to be 7.5. He won it by, I want to say, 3 or 4 in 2016, and then it was by a point or 2 in 2020, so it shifted to the left. I think Trump will, of course, win it. He won it in 2020, so nothing makes me believe he's not going to win it, but I don't think it'll be by that margin. Now we can do Ohio. There's 11 polls there showing him winning by 8.5. And then we come over to Iowa. And Iowa, there's 11 polls there, Trump winning by 8.6. That seems to match up. That's about the same margin in both of those states that he won in both 2016 and 2020. And then I think that's it for the likely red states. So now we can go ahead and fill in Biden's likely states. So Colorado, I mean, I would say this is a safe blue state at this point, but the polling is indicating that Biden is ahead by 6.3%. New Mexico, Bush won in 2004, hasn't gone red since. Trump, I think, got within 8 in 2016, but then it was kind of a blowout in 2020. The polls have Biden winning by 7.8. Minnesota, Biden is, so this is actually not, it's a lean state, so we'll come back to that. And I think that might be it, unless Virginia, nope, that's not a likely state either. So right now we are at 202 for Biden, 248 for Trump. And there's actually no polling out of these congressional districts. So I can go ahead and make my own prediction on Nebraska's second, which will probably be a lean for Biden. They did redistrict it, but I don't see enough change to alter the election results. I think, and Biden did win it by about 7 points last time. So I'm going to go ahead and give him that, and then Trump will win Nebraska at large. I didn't fill that in before. And then Trump will win Maine's second congressional district, probably by a likely margin. So let's now dig into the swing states. So Minnesota, we'll start there because I think that's the least relevant state here. Shows Biden winning by 3.5. Which I could see happening. I would rather probably say it's going to be more like 5, maybe 4. This state has voted against Ronald Reagan. Can't remember the last time it voted Republican. Trump didn't win it in 2016. He came close. So I don't think it's on the table for him. Okay, now we can do Wisconsin. 15 polls in Wisconsin have Biden winning by 1.9. Wisconsin's weird. I remember on election day 2020, a poll had came out, the final poll before the election, showing Biden winning by 17, and Wisconsin was one of the closest states. Biden won it by less than 1%, so I don't know how true that is. Virginia, Biden, 7 polls have Biden winning by 2.8. I don't think it's going to be decided by 2 points. Romney did fairly well here. Trump got within 5 in 2016, and then it was like a 10-point margin in 2020. Biden is unpopular now compared to 2020, so it'll probably close up, but it's a blue state at this point. The Republicans lost the state Senate. They lost the House there a couple weeks ago. So Virginia is a Democratic state at this point. Now we can go on to we can finish up the Rust Belt here. Michigan and Pennsylvania. So Michigan, there's 25 polls there showing Trump with a slight lead of 1.3%. Of the 3 Rust Belt states, I would say Michigan is the least likely for Trump to win. If anything, I would have Wisconsin going red and Michigan going blue, but that's what the polls are telling us right now. Pennsylvania, the most polls of any state on the map, 26, and showing Trump with a fairly decent lead of 2.3%. He won it 2016 by less than a point. Biden won it by about a point in 2020. I'm worried about Pennsylvania because it's just going bluer and bluer and bluer. We had a Supreme Court race there a couple weeks ago that the Democrat won that. John Fetterman, who can't even talk, won the Senate seat there. Granted, I know Dr. Oz wasn't the greatest candidate, but you're running against somebody who can't even talk, and he won there. So, if anything, I would switch the Rust Belt completely. I would give Wisconsin to Trump and then Michigan and Pennsylvania to Biden. But that's just my thoughts on that, and I'm sure things will change as we go. Then we come out to Arizona and Nevada. Arizona, that we have 23 polls showing Trump winning by 4.8, so that's pretty decent. He won the state by about that in 2016. Second closest state in the country in 2020. Biden's underwater there, and Biden's unpopular everywhere, so I could definitely see this going back to Republican, and we do have a critical Senate race there too. Then we have our last state, which is the state of Nevada, which has some of the most surprising polling coming out as of recently. And so 17 polls there show Trump winning by 3. So that is pretty impressive. I've seen some more polling there showing him winning by even more. Nevada has been getting closer and closer each election cycle. Romney did okay there. Trump came within 2. And then Nevada was one of the few states in the country that voted more Republican in 2020 than in 2016. So it's definitely trending right. And I could definitely see 2024 being the election where Republicans finally flip it. But I don't think it would be by 2 or 3 points. I would say probably less than 1 if I had to guess right now. But so this is where the polling has us as of December 10th, 2023, a little less than a year before the election. Trump winning the election with 302 electoral votes to Biden's 236. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this prediction. Tell me what you guys think would be different. And stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you guys all next time.